Alright YouTube, we're going to take a look at the last 2 years of my electric usage. Every morning around 7:30 a.m. I would record the readings on the smart meter and I'd log the kilowatts I used for the day. Alright, I saved all my electric bills. There's 2 years worth. And I recorded the kilowatts used and the amount that I paid, and I put them all on a chart. Okay, in 2014, I used 9,289 kilowatts. In 2015, I actually used 2,116 less kilowatts for a savings of about $350. That doesn't seem like a lot, but there are some factors that play into that. First of all, the charge after taxes and everything was a penny more in 2015 than it was in 2014. Other factors came into play. My son wasn't living with me in January. He came here in July, and when he arrived, he was using my lathe and stuff. It's an extra person in the house, so he's going to use more electricity. All right, in August, I installed the LED lights. You can see where the power usage actually dropped a lot. An example is I have 3 lights on the outside of my house that I leave on at night. They used to have 100-watt bulbs in them. The LED replacement only draws about 12 watts. So I was drawing 36 watts as opposed to 300. So you can imagine where the savings really takes place, especially if you switch out the whole house. Around May is where I installed the wind turbines, and there wasn't too much of a savings there. I didn't notice anything. As you see, it didn't even show anything. It actually went up. Of course, it was getting warmer out. But around July, I started welding up my solar racks, and that welder takes a lot of juice. As you can see, she topped out at 912 kilowatts for the month. Around August, I got my panels installed for about half August, and you can really see where my kilowatt usage really dropped. I started with the Bedini wheel, slowing the smart meter. That didn't work out at all. Alright, the LED lights will take about 1.5 to 2 years to recover the initial cost. Wind turbines I probably should have skipped. They'll never pay themselves off. And solar panels will take about 10 years or so to recover the cost. Okay, here's my 2 wind turbines. They're both 48 volt. That one there has the 80-inch blade set on it. That one has the regular 7 blade set. That's the modified one with a 2-to-1 ratio, so it only needs to spin half as much as that one to make the same amount of power. And out there in the back is one of my sets of solar panels. Here's my other set of solar panels, and as you can see, there's the sun. The angle is not very good being winter. There are many videos online with wind turbines and people showing the power they make and everything. And I encourage you to look at as many as you can if you want to buy wind turbines. But one thing you got to do is, when you're watching these videos, you got to wonder to yourself, is this video about helping you or actually selling you a wind turbine? And here's how you tell. Most of the people, they'll show you, right now the wind's not turning the blade, so it's not making any power, but they'll show you all the power it's making. Oh, I'm getting 78 watts, 110, 120, and they just keep going on like that. But what they don't like to do, they don't like to hit this little button here. Okay? I made 3 kilowatts in 606 hours. That's 25 days. And this is my modified one, the better one. Here's the 7 blade one. I'll show you what this did. This made 2 kilowatts in 606 hours. See, I'm not afraid to hit this button like most people. You gotta wonder why. If you're running through a grid tie, you might as well show that. Otherwise, you're not really helping anybody. Now here's what most people say is boring. Solar panels. Boring, but they make a lot more power. See, right now, it's making 440 watts. Well, let's see what it's done. I've made almost 30 kilowatts in 606 hours. And this is angled wrong towards the sun compared to my other set. My other set is, I didn't even check it, but it's more than 29 kilowatts. Well, as long as I'm doing this, I might as well show you the other set. This one's making almost 700 watts. And it made 44.5 kilowatts in 607 hours. Okay, there they are, and you can see they're not very high. They're supposed to be 65 feet up in the air. Well, not too many people can get wind turbines 65 feet up in the air, and then you're walking around guide wires. To be fair, even where they are, the windiest day I took a 24-hour sample, and the modified one spinning over there actually made 800 watts, in a 24-hour period. That's not too bad. If they were higher, they would probably do a lot better, but that's not the case where I live. I can't even go that high. Those solar panels, there's 4 230 watt panels. Those totally outperform the wind turbines, even in the winter. And they say solar panels aren't that great in the winter. That's just simply not the case. Now, 2 days ago, it was a pretty windy day, and at 10 a.m. I logged the kilowatt meter readings. And at around 8 p.m. at night, the winds died down, and I took the readings again. And the 7-blade set made 120 watts, and the modified made 240 watts. Now, that's after 10 hours. So, and it was windy. It was so windy, it actually knocked the magnet for my RPM meter off. That's easy to fix. That's happened before, but I was getting gusts of wind over 30 miles an hour at times. Anyway, so if you live in an area where you don't have great winds, like really great winds, I wouldn't make wind turbines my first choice. As far as the future goes, I bought an 8,000 watt 220 split phase inverter that I'll be hooking up to my fuse box and running off of a battery bank, so I won't be using grid ties. So we'll see how that goes in the summer.